I think every company has some type of use for automation. We are seeing though that online it's way more popular just simply because of the concept of doing business online, right? It's now we're seeing that people are getting online because it gives them the sense of freedom, right? You can do work wherever in the world, and now if you add an automation tool, it kind of enhances that dream of having this seamless business that you're building. So I would say that online businesses, e-commerces are the ones that are benefiting from it the most because I feel like they're the ones who tend to be more open to adapt this new technology. But any business nowadays, in my opinion, should be considering it. We are entering a new world of marketing. We are entering a new world of business. I think the last 2 years have shown us that if you're not online, unless you're in a very specific industry, it's very tough. It's very tough just to survive. It's very tough to have any type of brand awareness, to have any type of outreach to your clients, because the last 2 years, again, people couldn't go to your place. They couldn't buy from you physically. And if you are going to have any type of online presence, you are going to encounter certain problems, certain issues where automation would just come in and solve them extremely quickly at a fraction of a cost and produce results that are way better, way faster. So again, online businesses, yes, but I believe that more and more companies in any sector, maybe not like mining and very hard, manual work, maybe not those, but if you're looking to go online, if you're looking to expand your business, to scale it in the digital world, you are 100% going to require some type of automation, whether you have this channel or that channel. There are ways of automating everything pretty much. The way we're looking at it now, especially with the introduction and development of artificial intelligence, a lot of the tedious work that has to go into marketing is being automated. We're looking at SEO, copywriting, even site building for certain companies, where that's where a lot of energy, a lot of time, a lot of money is invested, and it takes a long time before you start seeing results. So I think in these sectors, that's where we're seeing a real boom in automation, in artificial intelligence, and it's getting smarter and smarter and smarter. So we are seeing it not only become faster, but better at creating content, better at SEO, better at building websites. So definitely in those sectors, we're still seeing sectors that require, and I think we will always see sectors that require human intelligence, the human emotional intelligence that we possess. But in other sectors where it's just long, tedious, and it takes money out of your pockets, we are seeing a boom in those sectors. That's for sure. I think this question depends on how far, or what is your vision in terms of what's your company's vision? Where do you see yourself in 10 years? And I agree, there are solutions, automation solutions that exist that do require a certain amount. It's an investment. I think that's the way people should see it, is that yes, maybe it costs a bit more right now, but on the long run, it is going to save you money. It is going to save you time. It is going to save you a lot of headache. So in terms of figures, it depends on the solution. We are seeing technology such as pixels that are not super expensive. Yes, they do have a certain cost because everything takes money. But in terms of what they generate as a result, kind of sets aside the cost, and now you're generating income from it. So yes, there is an investment, but what is that investment bringing you? What is that ROI? You do have other technologies or other solutions such as automated SEO, automated CRMs, and all of these solutions that are going to be more costly and are for bigger companies that have a bigger budget. It can be multi-million-dollar companies, like it can be hundreds of thousands. But there's a solution for each and every one of those companies. And the beauty is that people who are developing those tools have that in mind. Some people develop tools for, as you said, businesses that are just starting and may not have $10,000 per month to spend on a certain solution, but they do have, a few thousand, and they're willing to do it. But then you also have other companies that have hundreds of $1,000s to spend per month, and they're willing to adopt a technology that's more expensive. So I think, again, just to kind of recap everything, it depends where the company is at. It depends what they are looking to achieve. Obviously, when you're just starting up, you're not saying, "Oh yeah, I want to attract 1 million people within the next 3 months," and you have no traction. And you're like, "Okay, maybe not. Maybe you should look at other solutions that are less expensive because your goals are kind of not realistic for where you are right now." So these variables, these factors have to be taken into consideration. And then once you factor those properly, those points, then you can assess, okay, what is it that I need? What solution do I need? What solution can I afford? Um, yeah, hopefully that gives you a better a better understanding or a better insight as to who needs and who can use those technologies. For me, the way I view it, automation augments personalization. Um, and again, it depends where you apply it. But if you're applying automation to work, let's say you're a content, you're good with creating marketing strategies, but you gotta promote your business, right? You gotta do SEO, you gotta run ads, you have to do all these simple steps in order to attract clients. Well, now you're taking time out of your day to do stuff that you're not good at and that you don't want to do, and that doesn't it's not what your purpose is as a business. Now you add automation, and automation does all these long and tedious and hair pulling work for you, so that now you can actually do what you're good at. So I think when they are combined together and they work in a synergetic way, um, you can see that personalization is just being augmented by automation. And the best, another example I can give, people are a bit afraid of automation. Obviously, you're leaving work behind to robots, basically, to codes and programs. And it is scary. It is not necessarily something that a lot of people are comfortable with, but it is a necessary transition if we are looking to evolve, whether it's in the business world or in just the world in general. I can take an example. When they invented the first car, it was a machine, right? And we were riding on horses or animals. It's like, oh, how can we trust something that's not sentient? How can we trust something that's not living? And there is a certain period of adaptation, of trust, that has to be built between human and technology. But I believe more and more businesses will realize the power of it, and they will realize that it's not there to ruin or to replace. It's there to help, and it's there to augment a business, to help people focus on what help not only people, help humans focus on what humans are best at. We're not robots, right? And we often refer to certain jobs as being robotic systems. It's a system. It's always the same, repetitive, routine. Well, now we can kind of automate all of this and give humans the chance to actually exceed at what they are good at. Um, so again, it goes hand in hand. There is a downside to it, but I do believe that if used correctly, if used in the proper setting, if used for the proper problems, it only enhances personalization. It allows us to be more focused on creating that personalized experience while leaving all the systematic and all the routine work um, to a code, to a robot. We have a responsibility as humans to kind of gauge where we are going in terms of technology. Um, will it replace it? I hope not. I cannot predict. I can hope that it won't, because I myself, even being involved in that world, um, again, I do see the downside to it. I'm not saying this is all rainbows, sunshines, flowers. No, if it's used incorrectly, it can have a certain negative effect, and I 100% agree with it, and I won't and I won't brush it aside. That being said, we have seen that technology has helped us create not only marketing materials, but other types of materials that are just mind blowing. You look at it sometimes, like I was looking at a video yesterday of these new 3D billboards in New York, where it almost looks as if the thing that's inside is for Resident Evil. I think it's the game or a movie, and there's like a zombie creature, and it almost looks like if it's coming out at you. You wouldn't have that 20 years ago, and that's because we didn't have the technology that allowed us to do it. So I believe technology allows us to create and evolve and move forward as a species, as a human species. But there is a certain responsibility that we have to take as as humans, as society, in saying, okay, maybe not this. Maybe we should take it easy with that thing. It doesn't look, we have all seen Terminator. We all seen what it can do. We don't want to get there. Um, but if it's used again correctly with the right context, with the right intention, um, it won't kill, it won't replace. It will replace, maybe it will replace, but it will give space to something new. And we've seen it again, people who were breeding horses for transportation. Well, when cars came along, that job was, you know, maybe not as popular anymore, but now we had new jobs being created for cars, right? For car production. And the same thing can be seen in marketing automation. We may not have SEO or copywriting experts anymore, but now we'll have scientists or engineers that can program machines and codes and systems that can automate processes for companies, and which will allow business and the world in general to move forward, to move to a more sophisticated, a more technology advanced society. So it's just about gauging it. I think that's where I'm trying to get at. It's how do we gauge it? Where do we put the line to say maybe not, and where do we say, okay, this actually helps us scale and helps us evolve in many ways, not just business.